Welcome to our channel, where history is a thrilling narrative filled with unexpected twists and shocking turns. October 6th, 1981. Victory turned to ashes. Egypt was rocked to its core as President Anwar Sadat fell victim to an assassin's bullet. A hail of gunfire erupts, and some grenades blast during a celebratory parade. And the man who dared to make peace with Israel is dead. Was it a lone fanatic or a meticulously planned conspiracy? Join us as we dive into the murky world of Islamic extremists, whispers of foreign involvement, and unanswered questions that still linger over this history-altering assassination. Born in 1918, a world away from the halls of power, Anwar Sadat grew up in a simple village with 14 siblings. By 1938, he had graduated from the Cairo Military Academy, and his sights were set on a different kind of battlefield. World War II saw him plot against the British rulers of Egypt, a gamble that landed him in prison. Escape followed, but another arrest loomed, this time for a connection to a minister's assassination. Undeterred, Sadat rose from these ashes to become a key figure in the 1952 revolution, toppling the monarchy. As a close confidant of President Nasser, he held various high offices, eventually serving as vice president for a decade. In 1970, fate propelled him to the presidency, inheriting a nation battered by war and yearning for change. This is where his story truly takes flight. Four years into his presidency, Egypt grappled with the aftermath of a devastating defeat by Israel in the 1973 Yom Kippur War. This swift and brutal conflict shattered illusions of military dominance, forcing President Anwar Sadat to confront the harsh reality that traditional warfare wasn't the answer. The economic burden of the war was crippling, and the human cost was staggering. In a bold move that defied decades of animosity, Sadat embarked on a diplomatic mission to Israel in 1977, becoming the first Arab leader to officially visit the nation. This groundbreaking visit signaled a dramatic shift in Egyptian foreign policy and a willingness to pursue peace. The subsequent Camp David Accords, brokered by the U.S. President Jimmy Carter in 1978, after intensive secret negotiations, became a landmark achievement. Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin became the first Arab and Israeli leaders to sign a formal peace treaty in 1979, ending the state of war that had existed since Israel's founding in 1948. This courageous act earned Sadat the Nobel Peace Prize. The treaty itself was a complex document. It included mutual recognition between Egypt and Israel, signifying a historic shift in their relationship. The agreement also mandated a complete withdrawal of Israeli armed forces and civilians from the Sinai Peninsula, occupied by Israel since the 1967 Six-Day War. However, Sadat's gamble for peace came at a steep price. Sadat's pursuit of peace with Israel was not met with universal celebration. Many Egyptians viewed the agreement as a betrayal of the Palestinian cause and Arab solidarity against Israel. Decades of seeing Israel as an enemy made accepting this new reality a struggle. Radical Islamic groups, fueled by deep resentment towards Israel and the West, condemned Sadat as a traitor who had abandoned the ideals of Arab nationalism. Other Arab nations viewed it as both presumptuous and a betrayal by Egypt. Egypt's suspension from the Arab League for years and its struggle to regain its preeminent leadership in the Arab world reflected this. Sadat's focus on economic development through closer ties with the West further alienated these extremist factions. Anwar Sadat, the architect of peace, emerged as a target for those who saw his vision as a threat to their ideology. Sadat knew about the threat to his life, but chose not to withdraw from the public eye. October 6, 1981, the anniversary of the Yom Kippur War, saw celebrations underway in Cairo. Anwar Sadat, reviewing troops during a military parade, was about to witness a seemingly routine ceremony turn deadly. A group of Egyptian soldiers were disguised in military uniforms. Khaled el-Islambouli, a lieutenant in the Egyptian army with connections to the terrorist group Takfir wal-Hijra, led the attack. Just as their vehicle passed the presidential viewing stand, they jumped out and opened fire. Grenades were thrown. President Sadat was fatally wounded, struck by bullets 4 times. He died 2 hours later. 10 other people also died in the attack. At the time of the attack, Vice President Hosni Mubarak was also sitting near Sadat, but he managed to survive. After Sadat's death, Mubarak took over the country. He arrested hundreds of people suspected of having participated in the conspiracy. Finally, charges were brought against 25 men who went to trial in November. Many of those charged were unrepentant and proudly admitted their involvement. Egyptian authorities believe that Aboud al-Zomor was one of the plot's masterminds. He was sentenced to life in prison but later released as part of an amnesty program. In an interview with NBC News, Zomor offered justifications for the assassination, claiming Sadat's opposition to Sharia law, dissolution of the opposition-infused assembly, and crackdown on Islamic movements were the reasons he gave for his actions. The assassination of Anwar Sadat wasn't just the end of a leader's life. It marked a turning point for the Middle East. The Camp David Accords remained in place, a testament to Sadat's courage, but the dream of a wider Arab-Israeli peace remained fragile. The attack raised questions about Egypt's stability and the future of the peace process. Zomor's justifications aside, lingering questions surround the assassination. Was it a carefully planned operation by the Islamic Jihad or a spontaneous act of rage by a few soldiers? Did foreign powers have a hand in the attack? The full story remains shrouded in mystery, adding another layer of intrigue to this captivating and tragic historical event. While the investigation and trials brought some closure, unanswered questions continue to fuel speculation. Don't forget to like, share, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel.